Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Hope everyone's well. It is the 1st of June. Pinch punch, first of the month. That's what we say over here anyway. Well, it doesn't mean much to you guys in the US, but there you go. It might do anyway. So, yeah, everyone's okay. I hope everyone has had a nice, relaxing evening last night. Let me just switch my phone down, that's all. Okay, as you can see, I've done a couple of trades. Second one looks a bit dicey. I didn't have that range drawn then. See, it looked like there was a channel. Well, I had it as a wider channel first initially, and I took that one that did 4.5 points. And that one, I got into that one and it was going slow, and then I just noticed the news. For some reason, I thought the news was 2:15 UK time. It was 1:15, so I sacked that trade, but nothing really happened anyway. So I did panic a bit there, but I need to focus more. I usually have that news item on there, but the news in red. But there you go. Morning, Groll Daddy. How you doing? Morning, what? Beautiful day again in the UK here. Been outside in the garden this morning, relaxing. It's lovely in the UK. We've just had ball-to-wall sunshine, really, for about the last 3 weeks. It's around about 20, 21, 22 degrees centigrade, but it's just lovely outside. Just makes things a little bit nicer, doesn't it? So I've been out shopping this morning, got myself a nice new bottle of Lafroig, 10-year-old single malt Lafroig, which I'm going to crack in the garden later, and I'm going to have one of those. So, okay, so what are we seeing at the moment? Market officially opens in about 30 seconds, so it's clearly ranging at the moment. We have got some more news. ISM manufacturing at 3 o'clock UK time. It's about 30 minutes, so just going to keep an eye on this now. So let me have a look. So just wondering whether there's a bigger channel there. I don't think so. Maybe. Let's have a look. I don't know. I don't know. Let's leave that like that. I'm not sure at the moment. Market's officially open, hence the quick little bit of up and down. So this is a break. That's a break. Let's have a look. I'm guessing this is going to come down the bottom here, but does look like we're moving down here. So I don't know where to put that. I suppose that's okay. I'd expect that to push down here. It's 2 legs up. Call it a break. Lower high. Clearly worked. I don't know. I wasn't 100% convinced where I had my channel drawn there, which is why I left that trade alone, but it turned out good in the end. I don't think it's like that. It could be, actually. It's hard to say. 1 leg down. Let's have a look. Maybe it is. The trouble is with me, sometimes, you know, when you're trading, you've got to move and you've got to react quick. And the trouble with that one is you can make a mistake. Obviously, as you took that lower high there now. Yeah, I looked at it because I was umming and ahhing where I had my channel, and that's the problem. But it worked nice, actually. I looked at it, but you know, sometimes when you jump in and then you're like, oh, what am I doing? Sometimes if I haven't had a chance to settle, I find sometimes I'm better when I've sat at the computer for about, 15, 20, 30 minutes and relaxed a little bit sometimes, because, when you start to trade, you get that little tingle in your guts, don't you? It's sort of like an exciting, nervous type feeling. Okay, so that's worked lovely, that, actually, to be fair. I'd expect that. So, looking for a measured move. Yep, I think we've got it, mate. There we go. Bang on. Nice. That was a nice trade, actually. Wish that would stop. My heart's racing. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's... the trouble is, when you get that feeling, it's that nervous sort of twitch inside, isn't it? And I've found sometimes that settles the longer I'm sat at the chart. So sometimes I think my trades early on are sometimes some of my most aggressive. Scared to hold that all the way. Yeah, I think that'll come in time, mate. If you've got $50,000 in your bank now and you're trading 2 contracts, you'll probably happily sit there. But there you go. I know what you mean, Lance. Yeah, it is. When the market's first open and you know, it's that excited sort of tingle in it. And it's easy to get sucked into that emotions, isn't it? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I blew an account last night. I did say that when I started streaming, I was just going to be honest and brutally honest. I had 3 PA accounts. Now, the plan was, it was to get one above 2,600 and then take a small payment because I'm fed up with just putting all the time. So I came back last night and just got myself into trouble with one account, and I was so frustrated and so angry with myself. On the other hand, I managed to get one of my account to about $3,500. So that is an area where I can relax a bit now, but the one I blew, I'm frustrated with. Now, I think partially is I haven't worked for the last few weekends. I've decided to, because I just work part-time weekends, but I've decided to just concentrate on trading, and it's adding that little bit of financial pressure. And when I finished yesterday, excuse me a second. Sorry about that. When I finished yesterday, I went back on last night. I just felt that urge to go back, and I was trying to fight it. And I went back, and I ended up blowing one of the accounts. That's the downside. But on the other hand, I managed to get one up. There was a big move. Let me see if I can see it. A big move. Was that the one? A big move up. I think I was around here, I think I took that one, and it just, I doubled up, and I shouldn't have done, and it just launched. So I managed to get a good thing there, but it's not the way I like to trade. It's frustrating. It's a horrible feeling. It makes you physically sick. Now, I just wanted to be honest. So one of my accounts blown. So I've only got 2 PA accounts at the moment. So I'm just trading one of them today with another evaluation. Now, on the other hand, I've got 2 past evaluations which go live next Wednesday. So I can deal with the loss of that. But what it is, since I've given up work weekend, it's added to the pressure. Now, when I was getting that count close to 2,600 yesterday, I was in a trade and I said, oh, I don't like this, I want to get out, and I jumped out for a tick. That's why, because I'm feeling the financial pressure. So I've had a chat with my wife this morning. I'm going back to work weekends. So with the bit I earn on the affiliate links and that and her wage, we should be okay. So I'm not under pressure to build account too quick. Glad you got one account. Yeah, well, the other account was about $1,500, and I managed to get it to $3,500 last night. Now, I just got a bit lucky, if I'm all fairness. But when it happened, I thought, that's it. Count your lucky stars and just get out of it, and that's what I did. But I was just angry at myself for doing it. But I could feel the pressure yesterday. Because I knew now I haven't worked for a few weekends, so you haven't got a lot of savings, a few thousand, something like that, but it's starting to get chipped out, and I'm just, you know what I mean? I just want to try and focus all my energies on trading, but I've obviously got to make sure I have enough income to support myself and my family, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, I learn every day about this trading business, about how tough it is and how tough it can. I'm just looking at this and really strong down here. I'm learning every day how tough it is, and you know, certain things get easier, but other things get tougher. Now, I noticed the difference when I'm on a peer account to when I'm on an evaluation, because obviously evaluation, you know, if you blow an evaluation, you can start another one. It's not a major issue, but when you've managed to go 7 days and you've paid the $140 and you've got an account, that's when you're starting to build yourself some money. And I've just found the pressure's just a little bit. And the obviously giving up work weekends. Now, I work for an agency. I drive HGVs. And the reason I do that is because there's loads of work. You can earn £20 an hour, which is about $25 an hour. It's easy money, and I can work weekends if I want. And I did that for a while, but about 3 weeks ago, I gave it up. Which is not a problem. I could do it again. But I've just noticed a difference money-wise. So, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, haven't you? So, short-term trend channel looks like a little break that. There is a lot of liquidity again at 80, but there's a lot around the 82 mark, so I expect that to come down. Now, that has played out, that measured move, so I've got to be careful here. Because I'm up a nice bit today, and what I don't want to do is screw it up. Incidentally, if you haven't seen that film Air, I watched it last night about Nike and Michael Jordan. It's quite an enjoyable film, actually. So if you're stuck and bored for something to watch, put it on. It's a good watch. Okay, we've got a break. If we can push down here and get something bearish, I'll take that. Because there's strong liquidity at 80, so I think it's going to come down to here. But there is strong liquidity up here, so it may be a failed breakout that year. Let's not get too hasty here. There is a lot of liquidity around here, around the 82 to 83, but there's all the strongest part of liquidity is up to 205, which is up this area, so that might be a failed breakout. So I've got to be careful here. I take the right trade. Hey Nick, how you doing, bud? How you doing? Sam, how you doing, mate? It's alright, I haven't said hello to you. Keep working, lads. Trading is top up for me. Is a top. Trading is a top up for me. Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. Yeah, okay. Good decision to leave that. Now, that's the thing I like about this Bookmap. I can see liquidity around here, and there's a strong bit at 80, but by far the strongest area is right up here, which tells me I think this is a break. Now, what I also have to be aware of, this looks like a channel, so it might be one leg up, two leg up break, and a new low. So I'm in two schools of thought there, whether we're going higher or coming down. But I'm glad I left that. It was a bit congested anyway. But hey, Toad, how you doing? Toad, it's Chris, isn't it? Yeah. I was browsing through my messages last night, and I'm getting to know you a bit, so I wanted to call you by your name, Chris. So, what was your reason for the first two trades? Lunacy, I think, mate, is probably the best answer. I didn't have this this range drawn at the time, and that looked like a channel, a break with a high low, and that worked. Now that one there, it was a failure, and I thought we were going to push higher. I had it drawn as a wider range, as a wider channel, and then all of a sudden I noticed the news, so I got out of it for a point, although the news didn't do anything. So yeah, so yeah, lunacy, mate. I think is probably the best way to. Did you see? Did you see? Confluency. Don't even know what that word means, mate. Confluency. 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 I'm not sure what that means, mate. You've got me there. Been a while since I was at university. Confluency. Now I know what fluency means. Does that mean conflicting fluency? That might mean conflicting. So the ups and downs, that might be what you mean. There's some strong liquidity at 80, 41.80, and there's a lot up here. So I was looking to go short, then I'm thinking, hold on a minute, if this is looking like a range, perhaps it is a range, and perhaps this is just a failed breakout, we're going up. Staying at ATM out. Staying ATM out. Not sure what you mean there, bud. Let's have a look here. This is interesting. So there's a failed second entry short, but there's something about it I don't like. It means more than one reason. There you go. You learn something new every day. Every day's a school day. Chris, it means more than one reason. Yeah, see, this, to me, it looks like it's going to come down here, and but there is a strong patch. If you've got Bookmap on YouTube and you look to the right, there's a big red area around the 2 to 5 here, which is telling me they're shorts up there, which is telling me if it gets back to the top of the range, people might sell. Or if someone's bought here, that's where they may take the profit. So it could either be either or. So did Bookmap help you with the first 2 trades? Yes, it did, mate. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely helping me, but I can't rely on it solely. It helps me make better decisions. But the day before yesterday, when I traded on the off day, I trusted Bookmap more than a setup, and it went against me. That's why I had those couple of losses. So it's trying to find that balance. Yeah, it did, mate. It certainly did that one. But I had this drawn as a slightly wider channel, and for me, it was moving up. I didn't have this drawn then, and then obviously when we started to come down, that's when I put in this. But strong at 80, so I expect that to come down. It's gone up a couple of times, and it's starting to tip. So, but there was a little bit of uncertainty there, and for me, that's why, because you got such strong liquidity up here and a bit down here. So there we go. So I was just saying, I don't know if anybody mentioned, but I'd rather tell you all. I went back trading last night. I shouldn't have done. I traded with one account and I blew one of my PA accounts. I'm so angry with myself. Now, the reason behind it is I gave up my part-time work about 3 weeks ago. It's not a problem. It's agency work. I've spoke to the guy. I'm going to pick it up again this weekend. But the plan was to get one of the accounts to around about to above $2,500, $600, take a payment, and use that to replace the income I've given up. But the trouble is, it's adding pressure, and I can feel it. Now, I took a trade yesterday. I jumped in it, and it would have made 2 points, but I panicked, and I jumped out for 1 tick. So it's just adding too much pressure. I still reckon that's coming down to 80. It's adding too much pressure. So I'm going back to work part-time weekends, so there's no pressure to make money. So I'm trading one of my PAs today just to help me settle a bit, and I'm trading the big one. The other one's at about $900, about $700. This big one now is at $3,600 at the moment. So, but yeah, the trouble is if you give up work too early, there's some strong down there, 390 orders down there. If you give up work too early, it can add too much pressure, and that's what it's done. Bookmap at 41.96. What am I looking at? 41.96. I can't see that far. With the job, remember, that was the same thing that happened to me. Yeah, the trouble is, see, trading for me is the career path I want to choose, because it gives me the freedom to work the hours I want, spend more time with my family, and just be in charge of my own destiny without having to, rely on other people. Trouble is, the job I had, it was a good job at the time, and when we hit lockdown, that was it, where I worked. Now, when I was younger, I did bricklaying. I was a bricklayer, and I hadn't done it for a bunch of years. And an old army barracks about 1 mile from my house, they knocked it down and built some houses, so I was earning really good money. I was working from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, and I was on $1,000 a week, which is about $1,250. It was easy work, to be honest with you. And I'd only been there 3 weeks, and it was just brilliant. It was literally just up the road with a couple of guys I'd worked for. But when we hit lockdown, the Bellway site I was working on shut down, and they didn't open for 6 or 8 months, so that went out the window. I also had a HGV license, heavy goods vehicle, which for driving Arctics, and I did that for a while just to sort of make ends meet. A chef was what I was. I left school, went to college for 2 years and became a chef and worked in various hotels. I always enjoyed cooking, being around food, and that's what I did. But the trouble is, I've just added too much pressure. I've just focused too much on this. What I'm finding is I'm getting a little bit obsessed with it, and I've got to try and find a bit of a break. Okay, that's quite a nice looking bar there. I expect that to push down quickly to 180. They tend to go sideways until they meet the EMA in a nice looking bar and the key entry point. So I expect that to push to this liquidity here, 180. That's the best looking bar of the bunch. Now there's always a possibility it won't work, but I haven't taken it because it's a bit risky. But for me, it's all right. I just like to assess the market, and you notice patterns and you notice when things happen. But it's going a bit sideways. You know, once we get a decent bar in a decent area, I expect to push down. So whether that's it, looks like it was, but maybe it's not. But I think we'll be okay. If it open, your stream cut off at 96. Sorry, mate. Yes, it does. Sorry. Yeah, it does. But if you look on the right, let me just drag it in. If you look on the right, there's a condensed version of it. So let me just bring it over here. I'll open that up quickly. We've come down and done what I thought anyway. It does, yeah, 96. But we got this bit here which goes obviously. It's a more of a compressed. Can't see at the moment because of this, but as it goes up, 96. Yeah, it goes up well into the 200. So that's a compressed version. I've got these things in the way, but yeah, it's picked up that strong liquidity. So let me just move that back. So it did what I expected that when it came down and smacked that. So it's helping me. Once I use it, and when I say use it, I don't necessarily mean trade every time with it. But for me, that was the bar. And for me, that was the area it came to. And it worked. So every time this works again and again and again and again, I'll start to have a bit more faith in it. Now, I don't think it's a magic bullet, but it helps you see a little bit more into the distance. The trouble is, trading price act, you can't see any further than the end of your own nose. So, you know, it's like being stuck in that bedroom now. If you look down the street and there's a bunch of traders and you can see a load of traders saying, I'm buying down here or I'm selling down here, and then you start to understand what's going on. But when we're trading price action without no real indicators and no real type of order flow or book map or any type of order book, we're blind to a degree. Now, if you just scalp at a point, probably not going to make a massive difference, but it does give you confidence that the trade you're taking is in the right direction. Now, there's some strong liquidity at 79, so I think this may break this and push down. That was just a rough stab in the dark, but let's see if it does work. 79, which is in the middle there. See if that pushes down. So it just gives me a little bit of belief and confidence in my trades. Trouble is, when you're relatively new like me, you know, with skill and time comes confidence. You know, once you've been doing something enough times and long enough, you'll start to believe in it and you'll start to have the confidence in it. But when you're new to it, and especially something unique as trading that has such a psychological effect on you, you doubt yourself even more. It is a mind battle. It's almost to a degree like you're a professional sportsman. You know, psychology, where there's a lot of emotions involved and potentially a lot to gain. Psychology makes a massive impact. So this is where I expect that to go. So I got the first bit right. Let's see if the second bit plays out. 79 it is. Are we there yet? Maybe. Oh, we are now. So you know, it's twice there. I said it was coming to here. Bookmap is showing me, then it's coming in. It did. It worked. So those two little bits that have happened there just start to build my confidence in it. Just wondering if there's a bigger structure here, because interesting. I actually don't think that's that bad, because we're touching nice along the backside. Touch once, touch twice, touch 3 times. I think that's okay. And the reason I think it's okay is because we're working in this top tier. We were working in this bottom tier, and we had a couple of legs up, and now we're working in this tier here. Now, we've had a little break of this small tier and a new low, so if it comes up here and touches it again and comes down, I'll leave this here. If it starts doing something else, I'll take away the big channel, but the big channel looks kind of nice. So there's still some strong liquidity around about the 75. So let's bring this to 75. So I wouldn't have necessarily known this was going to happen, but I can see an image on a heat map of the orders down here, which is dragging this down. There's a lower high there, but it's an inside bar, so it's a bit risky. I'd rather have a second entry short confirming this bigger trend channel there. It might not work. There was a break and a new low. It might push up. It is still possible. It might be a range day. But so far, from what I can see on this heat map on Bookmap, it's looking bearish. So, you know, this business of trading, it's a tough business. You wouldn't think it was as tough as it is. And it's quite uncannily how sometimes you feel out of control. Now, with me giving work up, I've started to feel like I'm losing control and the markets are controlling me, or trading's controlling me, and I don't like the feeling. Which is why I had a chat with my wife last night and I said I'm going to go back to work weekends. So then I haven't got the pressure of earning money then. And I can earn good money weekends. So, but I need the pressure off me, then I can focus on the accounts. But, you know, you do ask the question, you do ask yourself from time to time, am I ever going to be, you know, there's that little doubt in the back of your mind. Now, I'm quite driven in a sense, I do. If I want something, I will fight tooth and nail to get it. So I pretty much, if there's something I really want, I pretty much get it. You know, to a degree, because if I put my mind to it, then there's not much stops me. And when people, you know, naysayers or any family members say anything, that just absolutely drives me on. Right, there's a failure there. There is strong liquidity down here, but it's a little bit congested. So try to go once, try to go twice. It's a failure. I'm a little bit nervous about this because that channel has broken and played out. It's also a failed second entry short, which is triggered. Now, if it breaks below there, I think it might be okay. Strong liquidity at 76. I'll tell you what.
Order submitted.
I'm going to put a buy limit there.
Order filled.
Okay. I'm not going to be greedy. Let's just go for a couple of points. There is strong liquidity down here. It's not a massive risk. 76, 75, but I think it's okay. It's looking kind of bearish. It is a failure, and there was a failed second entry short, which is triggered, so I think we're okay. That bar looked okay. That bar looked okay. So I'm going for 2 points. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
Order
I made a
filled.
mistake here.
Stop filled.
Oh. How the hell did I manage to do a buy order? Christ almighty, get a grip, boyo. Okay, interesting. What is going on here? For some reason, I put a buy order down here instead of a sell order. What is going on here? Let me have a look. Oh, I hit a buy limit order instead of a sell. Sorry, I went for a sell market order and had a buy order for some reason, and the trade went against me in my favour actually. Oh man. Okay. Let me have a drink of my drink. Strange. Nice reversal trade. I didn't take it, mate. I actually went short. For some reason, I usually use a limit order. I went to put a buy order because I wanted to wait for it to break there. And I bought. And trading gods were looking over you. Yeah, I've stopped using market orders, but I wanted one below there because it was a failed second entry short. So I got lucky there. That was awesome. I'll take that as a compliment, mate. Okay, ladies and gents, Nutty Bar Trader who's just made a comment. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we're all this together. He has a stream, so go and have a look at his stream, Nutty Bar Trading. I've got no problem with advertising other people. As far as I'm concerned, this is not about competition. It's about we're all in this together trying to make a living from this nightmare of a tough business. So he streams Nutty Bar Trading, so go and look him up. And he streams, I believe, Monday to Friday. So he did give me a nice compliment the other day and subscribed to me. So I thought, let's pass it on and do the same. So I've got no problem with passing on other traders. I know the Panda guy doesn't. If you mention something else, he'll just block you. But I don't look upon it as us and them. I just look upon it as us. So so all good. Up $700. Switch out for an eval. Tempting, mate, isn't it? Thanks, I appreciate the transparency streams. Anytime, mate. No problem at all. I'll tell you what I'll do. No. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's switch over to... No, I'll kick myself if I get a decent trade. Okay, so what did I get there? It's a couple of points, 4.5, 5.5. I got a 1.5 there. So I'm not going to put that. I feel too bad. So, okay, so Rodian, how you doing? So I'm up $700, so I've just switched. Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'll just take my time. I'll just take my time. If I lose one, I'll lock it. I don't need to trade another one, to be honest with you. Trouble is, if you get something good, I'll be trying to flick over to it and that. Half size. Good call. Good compromise. There you go. One contract. There we go. Good compromise. I've come down to one contract on that. I'm up $700, so I don't want to chuck that away. God, I got lucky there. To be fair, I'll take that. I've got unlucky plenty of times. I went for that failure, and what I did was put it one tick below there because there was also a failed second entry short, and I thought some people may take that. If they took that, it stopped them out. But because I don't usually use sell orders, I use limit orders. I clicked a buy limit order by accident, and it came down here and triggered me. And I kind of wish I was still in the trade now because it's going up. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate all your comments and every single comment and message I get. They all give me a lift because I've got to say I've been involved with different types of things in my life, you know, different Facebook groups. And I've got to say I've never been involved with a group of people who are genuinely helpful. And I think a lot of that to do with it's because it's such a tough business and such an emotional business. We all feel it. I mean, I've had a chat with my wife about it, and she said, well, just don't go back and trade in the evening, just switch your computer off. You know, when I look at her as if to say, oh, God, if it was only that easy, you got no idea. I said to her, you got no idea how miserable my life is. But no, people who've never traded have got no idea how lonely you can feel and how miserable you can feel. It does sound terrible, really, doesn't it? You know, and, you know, someone might say the question, well, if you're that upset or miserable or whatever, well, why don't you give up? But I don't like giving stuff up. This is the job I want. What I try and do is be aware of the opportunity I've got here. How many jobs can you work for 3 hours a day from your own home without having to go out in freezing cold mornings? Go out, nothing worse than going out and starting the car and there's ice all over it, or 6 inches of snow all over it, and you've got to, you know, take the skin off your knuckles and freeze your fingers trying to defrost the car and trying to scrape the ice off. It's sod that. I want an easier life. I want more out of my life. I just need a decent balance, and I've tipped the balance away from me at the moment by giving up that part-time job. So I'm too reliant on making money out of it. What I should be doing is concentrating on building. You know, I'd say ideally I'd like to get to say $7,000 and then take 2,000. That way I'm still at 5,000. And then just try and aim to get $2,000 a month once I get to that 7,000, and then keep half of it. So I've got a little bit, and then invest the other half in building more accounts. So let me tell you what I'm seeing here. I think now that is bottom of the range, and this is just a breakout. So I'd say that was one thing I was aware of. That liquidity is still down here, so I'm going to leave it down there. At some point it might likely hit it. Now some of the liquidity has died off. There is some around the 92 mark, around that midline, so I at least expect that to push that midline. And if it does push the midline, it's almost like we've had a 50% pullback there. So I wouldn't be shocked if we had one leg and then another leg. I wouldn't be shocked. So just out of curiosity, let's put that there. But that midline, I expect it to push to, which is, I know we don't tend to use these, but I don't think it does you any harm. If you go from, let's say, the low to the high, there's your 50% mark, right where it is now. So I know we don't tend to use these much, but interesting that a lot of the times they will pull back 50%. Now, when I traded currency, that's what we used to do. We used to have I think it was the 8, the 12, and the 38. Sorry, the 8, the 12, and the 21-day moving averages. And if it pulled out and went into the first two, you know, when you got a certain bar, then you could take the short, whatever. Grandpa Roger, how you doing, buddy? Nasdaq may go minimum up 13,050 short there. In fact, what I will do is pre-allocated. Okay, so that's gone to the midline like I expected. So I'm just setting my new evaluation up. Oh, so yeah, just in case anyone's unaware, they extended it. I had a feeling they might do the 80% off, so that is, I don't know when they've extended it to. I just had a quick glance at my email, and apparently they've done it because, I don't know, some of the day yesterday it was closed down. I don't know. I think, as I've said many times, the 80% for me now is going to be the new norm. They've had it too long now. People just won't pay anything more. So, yeah, so they've extended it. So if you did use that this month, I appreciate it. That does give me, that covers my trading and gives me some extra towards income for the month. Obviously, I'm going to have to do some work again weekends because I've left myself a little bit too much pressure to earn. So there we go. Okay, liquidity at 93. So just thinking, was there a trade there? No, there really was there? 93 and 95. Yeah, it's quite strong liquidity at 95. There. So I would have said, my thoughts are that might push a bit higher. So it's hard to say whether we're in a range there or not, really. I mean, we've opened and a quick splash up and down, come up a little bit, break, couple of legs to the new high, and we've been working down. I kind of like this channel because we sort of push straight down, push straight up, push down, a little bit in this lower tier, a little bit in the bigger tier, push down, 2 legs of sort of a correction, and then we've been working in this sort of top tier. But I would have said that now is probably... let's remove it for now. Let's clean this up a bit. There's probably something bigger working here, but I don't think it's a bit relevant now. Okay, so 2 legs up, down, break. Okay, I think that's all right. Let's get some new colours. Just seeing your profit for today. Nice job. Thank you, mate. I got a bit lucky, if I'm honest. That bar there, for some reason, I went to go short there. Now, I always use limit orders, but I used a buy order because I wanted to buy below that little bar there because at the time I had this channel drawn and there was a failed second entry short there which triggered and then stopped out. I put my order, but I put a buy order for some reason instead of a sell order. I don't use orders really. I use limits. Well, buy or stop, buy or sell orders. I use limit orders, but I put a buy order for some reason. It triggered me and pushed up 0.5 or something before I cancelled it. So sometimes you get a bit lucky. To be fair, I've felt unlucky yesterday, lately, but it's kind of tipped the balance a bit now. So, but I have just moved from 2 contract to 1 contract on this PA. So the good thing about having a nice balance like that to start, as I've reduced my contract size to 50%, I can sit back now and relax. And sometimes it's the best way to trade. Sit, relax, and just watch the markets. And if something happens, it happens. There's a new face with us today, I think. I got a message from a young lady earlier. Where is it? Top search, I think that's her name. No, I got a message from a young lady earlier asking about just come across your channel, that's good. I'm new to live trading. Do you have any intro quick step video suggestion? Day 1 pilot, first investment, take profit, percentage, stop loss, or do I join as a member? I sent it to Mac. Gonna hop off now for a tiny bit. Yeah, no worries, mate. Wife making you wash the dishes, is she? Go on over, mate. Go and get the Hoover. Do your housework. Yeah, I think your wife's got you making. over a cup of tea and doing the dishes. Yeah, anyway, I had this message from a young lady and I sent it to Mac. As far as I'm concerned, you can do a lot worse than go to Mac. I think there's a lot of courses out there and you can pay a bloody fortune for them, but $125 a year, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the best value trading course I've ever seen in my life. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's did what I thought. Look, so that it does work. I definitely get some value from Bookmap. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close in giving you good value. So I put that there, and that's where I expected to go because there was a good plonk of liquidity there, and it went up and bang, look at that. It's clearly played a part, that area. Now, there's nothing else there. Why it would stall, really. Just at the fact that that liquidity got sucked up there. Now, there is more liquidity around about here to 200. Now, I'm guessing that we may push up to the tops of these ranges, but it is a may, I don't know. But that is a nice channel there. Let me just adjust it. It fits really nice, and I think it all fits in there, in all honesty. So there is some liquidity around about the 89, so I've got to be careful. Normally a channel like this, you had a break, you go long into the to break the highs, but there is some liquidity around about the 89, so I don't want to get stuck. $94, some strong liquidity. We are here now, so that'll be sucking up some sell orders. That might have had that little plonk back. We may, let's have a look, 90, there's some at 90. Be nice to get down to 90, 2 legs down. Yeah, it is slowly getting drawn upwards. And the liquidity almost dries up at 200, 4,200. So I'm going to leave that there, just out of interest. That's still there, is it? 185. No, it's gone, that liquidity. There's a little bit of it, but I think it's mainly gone. Now, there is some at 97, which is here. And up to 200, which is there. So I expect a bit of a pullback in, possibly. And then a push up. Oh no, it's hit that anyway, so. Now, let's just have a look at this channel. That fits nice in there. I don't think that's a break. It's possible it might be. Let me have a look. It's hard to say there because we touched. Near enough. Touch. There may be a small break there. I'm not 100% convinced, as we've had a break and pushed up, and we've come up and pushed up some more. So, anyone require any help on stock? They can ask. I'm ready to give a view about bullish or bearish. Likely targets on stock. Ask away, mate. Ask away. Okay. Oh, look at that. Lucky. Okay, there's a bearish bar there. You may have gone short there. Let me have a look. Strong at 200. Interesting. Wow. You see that coming. So, now, this is decision time. Is that a break and 2 pushes up? Okay. This may be just a break out of it. It may go higher. There is still some liquidity at 200. So let's have a look. Depends how you draw that channel. Now, for me, everything looks nice in that channel. Now, you could argue that it's had a small break. But I'm kind of happy to say I think it looks okay like that. That looks to me like it fits there really nice. It doesn't look odd. It doesn't look like it doesn't fit. It doesn't look like I'm trying to manipulate it to make it fit. It looks okay. So this is a break. Now, this may be 2 legs and then a push up. I don't know yet. It's a bit early. There's some around 88, so it may come down. Or it might go 1 leg, 2 leg, and then slowly work up. It's hard to say at the moment. I mean, you would expect to make a new high after this, but I've noticed a lot lately, new highs sometimes take quite a while. It seems like a couple of years ago you get a break here and then it push up quickly, but a lot of times now it come down a leg, push up a bit, come down a leg, and then start working. So sometimes these breaks, I feel like they've changed over the last couple of years. So that is a second entry long. Trouble is, there could be a channel down there. See, I have to be aware that we may have had a break there. So this may be coming down. There's liquidity 85, so there is a possibility it could come. So let's have a look at this. Okay, I'm starting to think we have had a break. I think it's best break. 1, 2 legs up. This to me looks like it's coming down now. I think it's come down enough now for me to start thinking that this is working down. I may be wrong, but I usually err on the side of caution. That looks okay. Touching, 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 touching. And that shows a break and 2 legs up to a new high. But also you could drag it over and it fits as well. Fits kind of nice both ways. In fact, it fits really nice that way. The trouble is, depending on how you look at that, is what you expect to happen next. So I think sometimes it's best to err on the side of caution and say that it has had a break and had 2 pushes up, so it may not go higher. It could do, but it may not. So I've just got to be careful getting into a trade now. Yeah, this looks to me like it's on its way down. Okay, 85 is this liquidity down here, so I think that is quite likely. A lot of it had dried up around here, but there is still some at 200, so okay, that has now sucked up that liquidity. So what do we do now? We carry on down. There is some at 79 below here. I'm not sure what we do now. So you could say it's maybe 2 legs down, but it looks like a channel to me. I don't think it's 2 legs down. I think it's come too far to have a break and a push up. I might be wrong, but now I'm going to put that there, because if I put it here, someone will wonder why the hell I've made money off that trade. 0.5, wasn't it? 0.5 off that buy would have got lucky. Okay, 79, there is some liquidity. There's a little bit around about the 82 area, so I'd say it's possible. It's going to come lower. There is a bit of a black area around here, which is lower liquidity. So I'd say, from what I can see, it's probably more likely to come down than it is up. Somewhere around the 88, so we may have a little bit of a break. There's some relatively strong stuff around about the 80 to 72, which is here. There's strong at 9. So we may have a break. If we can get up to that area there, I might go short there. 88.75. So there's some around this area here. We may be past that now anyway. 75, there's some, so let's keep that down there. That's done and dusted. Let's put that up out of the way somewhere. I'll tell you what, I was looking on Amazon last night. Our barbecue is about, well, it probably looks about as healthy as the Titanic at the moment. It's just full of rust and falling apart. And I was looking at those Weber's barbecues. They're so much cheaper in the US. You guys are lucky out there. I think the top one, what was it called? Is it the, I forget now. I think you pay about 220. It's double the price over here. Stuff's so expensive. Two points good on you, Sam, lad. What did you take, mate? Did you take that, did you? That one there. I'm guessing you may have took that one there. Strong liquidity at 90. Maybe we have a couple of legs up to the M8 and then down some more. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, I definitely feel more relaxed the longer I sit here. As much as I wanted to get into that trade there, and that turned into a lovely trade. It happened a bit too quick. And you know, sometimes when you jump in the market and you your heart's beating probably a little bit faster than it normally does, and you think, oh, do I, don't I? It was a little bit of congested, a little bit, but to be honest with you, it looked like a nice trade, and it confirmed this anyway. So, and didn't it go lovely? Look, if you've had a runner there, you'd have got a nice runner down there. But it just happened a bit too quick, and I find sometimes I settle a bit better. Okay, there is some liquidity at 90. Where is it? Let's just check. Or has it gone? Now there is some liquidity around about there. So if we can get a couple of legs. Interesting. Okay. So I'm assuming there's some. Is there any news? No, there isn't. Interesting. Wow, I don't like what that's doing. There was a lot of liquidity just got sucked up there. I did say there was some at 90, but they were sell orders. So I think this is coming down some more. But I've got to be very careful with it moving that quick. I don't think there's any news. What time is it? 3:30 in the afternoon. No, there's no news. It's going to be a lower high or a failure here. I don't trust this quick movement. There is a possibility it just could keep going up. There is a bit of liquidity forming at 92, so it may go up. It is possible that little break is still involved in that, and we've had one leg, two legs down, and we're going to work higher. I mentioned earlier, a lot of the times we're doing that lately. Sometimes you get a break and you get two legs down and it moves up. A lot of the time you're getting much bigger breaks and it's working up slower. Here the same from Aussies. The part's only £50, but the cost is... Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's the same with Vitamix. Now, I've got a Vitamix. Now, I'm pretty sure they're less. They run about $300 in the US. They're £500 in the UK. A £500, that's a little over $600. Everything's so much because we haven't got a trade deal with you guys. I believe we have. Obviously, we're part of the EU, but we ditched the EU. So I believe there's a trade deal being etched out at some point, so we may get some better offers. But yeah, I think the top kettle Weber, I forget what it's called. Is it the Master? Oh, it's called the Master Touch. It's about £380 in the UK, which is $450, $460. It's nearly half the price in the US. So it's the shipping. So do me a favour. If any of you guys are deciding to have a trip to the UK and you reckon you can fit a barbecue in your luggage, let me know. And it might save me the shipping. You could smuggle it over for me. Or if any of you know any shipping companies that can smuggle a Weber barbecue over to me. In fact, I ordered a book once from the US by accident, and the book was about £15. Import taxes was £17, so it was more than the book itself, so I just refused to accept it in the end. But yeah, stuff's so much cheaper in the UK. You guys don't know how lucky you are. I think your fuel's cheaper. In fact, diesel over here has come down. I'm paying about £1.40 a litre, which is about £1. It is about $1.70, but we were paying £2 a litre 12 months ago, which is $2.50 per litre. Stuff is so expensive in the UK. Trouble is, we don't make any of our own shit. We import it all. That's the problem. You guys make good quality stuff, see. You know, the barbecues and things like the Vitamix. I mean, those Vitamix are bulletproof. Got to say, you guys, you make things big and built to last. Okay, so there's a failure there. I got a failure. You've got to be so careful, though, there. Possible second entry short there. So this, it's hard to say whether this is coming down or going up. We may have a break from that and push up. See, if we're in a range, there's no reason why it can't come to the tops here, but it's a dodgy area to take here. The liquidity is at 92, which is here, and it's not enough. I can't go long there with a liquidity of about a point away. It's too risky, and that's sell. So it might be a profit or a short. So if it pushes up above this, it may drop down. So we may come down and break these lows. There is some yeah. I'd say it's more likely going to come down than up at the moment, but I wouldn't bet me gold bar on it. Vitamix every day. Yeah, they're brutal, them things, aren't they? I think I got mine on offer. It was about £450, and that was about 6 or 7 years ago. But that thing, we're quite healthy in this house, and we have a lot of smoothies, and you can stick kale in there, kale stalks, apples, bananas, frozen blueberries, all sorts of nuts and seeds and stuff, and you can literally grind it to a pulp. They're brutal, them things. I even seen a guy put a pole cue in it once, and it turned into powder. Yeah, we use ours a lot. What are they? A couple of $100 in the US? More than double the price over here. Shocking. Same with cameras as well. I used to do a bit of photography, a Canon camera. So much cheaper in the US. You guys are lucky. Houses. My Christ, houses are so expensive over here. My sister lives down in Winchester, about 30 mile off the south coast, and a very small 3-bedroom semi-detached house with a garage, and I'm talking small, £900,000, which is about 1.1 million. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, house price is so expensive over here. I mean, you're talking a small house, small 3-bedroom house, semi-detached with a garage, 900 grand over here, down in Winchester where my sister lives. Unbelievable. I don't think the White House cost that much, did it? So what are we doing here, folks? Are we pushing up or pushing down? Now, this to me is starting to look bullish. And it's starting to look like a bull flag because it's given a slight angle, I think. Or am I wooling it? It's starting to, so push up. Slight angle, I expect another push up then. Yeah, bull flag up, like that. Up again. Fat. It's a higher low, that, isn't it?
Order filled.
It's a higher low. And I'm going to take that just for a couple of points. Not be too greedy. Let's have a look. A little bit sideways, new low, higher low, push up. Oh. I see this so many times, and every time I see it, I say next time it does it, I'm going to take it. So we got a new low here. That's a higher low. It is slowly moving up. It looks to me like it's going to push up like a bull flag. It's only a higher low though. Strong liquidity at 97 up here. And at 200, which is up here. Come on, push up. How do you get out of this? Come on, baby. Up we get. Strong liquidity at 94.75. So let's leave that there. That's a higher low. I think that's okay. I'm probably taking a little bit more risky trade because I've dropped the contract. Probably shouldn't do, but it's a bull flag to me. I see this so many times and I mention it so many times. One more tick. Come on, brother.
Target order filled.
Beautiful. Okay, so push up, a little bit of sideways at an angle, another leg up. Now, you may have said that was a bit risky, and to a degree it was, but I see this so many times, and every time I see it, I mention it, and it always works. So I waited for a half-decent bar, so we pushed up. We're going sideways, but up at a little angle, clearly a bull flag to me. We came back once, and we came back twice, so you can't call it failure because this is lower, but that was just a higher low, and it worked. So I just got like 2 points there, so higher low 2 points. Do you have a specific win number per day? Also, do you have a max loss per day? Probably should do, Necros, but I tend to like the freedom of which is probably not a good idea. I tend to like the freedom of sort of no is the answer. I should do. I think what I like to say is if I lose 2 trades in a day, I kind of like the couple of trades a day. Now, what I did is I had 3 trades there. Now, those 2 I took, which got me off to quite a good start. That one I took, I got lucky on because I made a mistake. Fortunately, it went in my favour. So what I did, because I finished trading early or got my profits earlier, I went down from 2 contracts to 1 contract. So I reduced my risk. But if I was you, if you're looking for something, I would probably say, I could probably say that's that. I would probably say a safe bet to aim for is if you have 2 losses in any one trading session, I think that's time to call it a day. Now, the liquidity is strong, exactly where it is there. That's why it's hit that 200 and dropped a bit. But you're on fire today. Well, do you know what it is? And you hear me say that all the time. We have a push up, a little bit sideways at an up angle, and then almost a mirror image. And I say that probably every other day. And I did say next time I see it and I get a half decent bar, I'm going to take it. And that one just did exactly what I thought. And I just went for a couple of points. But I need to get a little bit more structured because up until now, I've treated it as... Because when you're learning something like this, there's a lot of sort of learning and sort of experimenting, for want of a better word. I did think about holding that for a bit longer just to see if it... What's it? And I came out here, that would have made another 2, 4, 6 points. But this to me now, I would have said... is that, but I need some more structure, really. I haven't been treating it like a full-time job or a business, really. I'm building, I'm learning. I need to focus it on a proper business and just be a little bit more focused because I'm still making, making decisions I shouldn't really be making by now, but I gave up part-time work a while ago and I felt the pressure a little bit. So I'm going back to work. So hopefully what I'm going to start doing is having some form of a I'm going to print something out, some form of a structured trading system to follow, because I've been learning on the job. I haven't been following a proper, I mean, I've got some rules written down. I know the rules in my head, but I need a proper structured. The trouble is when you're working for yourself, it's up to you really, isn't it? And it's not really the best way to work. So I need a proper structured day written down to follow it to the letter. Now there is some strong liquidity at 205, so I think that may push up there. Excuse me a sec. Okay, sorry about that. It's all right. I've got my daughter here. Kids are off at the moment. So 205, some strong liquidity around 2325. So I expect that to push a bit higher. I want it to suck all that liquidity out at 205 before I even consider going short here. Now touch there, touched a bunch of times there, touch there, touch there. It's definitely range, no argument there. So, but I would much prefer it to push up. If it pushes up, see, picks up that liquidity, it should drop. And I think then that is an indicator to start to think about going short then. A lot at 2005, so I need that to push and hit that 2005 mark. Once it's done that, if it drops, then I'll think about going short. Okay, so this is a channel. We've had 2 legs down and we're slowly working up. So as I mentioned earlier, it's doing that a lot at the moment. When it breaks a channel, it's going the long way round, going high. Interesting. So look what it's done. It's gone up and picked up all that liquidity. Now there is some at 210, so whether that will push up higher, I don't know. It could well do. There may be a channel brewing there. Yeah, interesting. 210 liquidity and 200 as well, so it may come back or it may go higher. Today maybe tries to tell you that you should keep your direction to become... Say it again. Today maybe tries to tell you you should keep your direction and become a full-time. Yeah, I know. To be honest with you, bud, I do trade full-time, Monday to Friday, from around about the 2:30 UK time, which is when market officially opens, for about 3 hours. So I do trade full-time, but I did work weekends as well, just to bring in a certain amount of income, so I could, follow me sort of passion. But I gave it up a few weeks ago, and I'm just feeling the pressure now to make money, which is what I didn't want to do. I want to keep this as extra, and then when I can build accounts up to 10, 15,000, then I can go, okay, I've got a nice enough cushion now. I've got 10 accounts. Let's just think about taking $2,000 per account per month. Trading 2 contracts, $500 a week should be no real great difficulty. Two 2.5 point trades in a week. That's it. You got to get a point a day on average, which shouldn't be difficult. But the trouble is, I'm not allowing my accounts to grow enough where I've still got the pressure of earning money. So I'm going back to work weekends until I can get maybe 5 or 10 accounts up to a reasonable amount. If I can get them up to 10,000, then I can relax. You know, I can take a couple of thousand a month and interesting. Okay, strong liquidity still up here. So I'd say this is a break. Retest to this top of the range. So I expect this to go higher. But I have to be aware that most breakouts fail. SPY, excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Okie dokie. One leg down, higher low, strong liquidity at 98. I'm concerned that may come down. I did look at that one. Actually, that was a second entry, small bar, but I left it, and quite rightly so.
Order filled.
I'm going to take this. Because I think it's worth a couple of points. We've actually had one leg, two legs down, and it's a higher low. So I think it's okay. We've had a break from this channel. So 3, 2, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5, 2, 5. So I'm going to go for 2 points here, I think. Strong liquidity at 2.8. So I think this is okay. So that may even get a bit more out of this. 2.7, 2.8. Let's put it to there, I think. If we can get a decent push, I might get me stop up there. Where's Harjit? Oh. Hopefully if that triggers. All of a sudden I'm not feeling too confident here. It's going a bit sideways for me. Push up for me, go on. Go on. Okay, I think we're okay. I'm going to leave that at break even just in case. I got a bit nervous there. I'll put it there now. Let's give it a little bit more room. Come on. You're going up, I can clearly see. Liquidity's at 2.9 area, so...
Stop filled.
Oh, dear me. I didn't like that. Okay. New low, try go on. So this is a failure. Okay, maybe I buy this one.
Order
Buy
submitted.
stock market. That's a failure.
Order submitted.
Push up then. One leg, two legs down. I think we're okay now. I just didn't like what happened there. I took that one there. 2 legs down, the higher low, and it would have been okay actually. I didn't like what it did, so I brought me stop up a few ticks below just in case, and it took me out for a few ticks, so that's okay. I don't mind that. I've got my money today, so I'm only relying on a couple of smaller trades, but that looks okay to me. Strong liquidity is at 2.9, so I'm not going to be greedy here. Like I'm in 4.5, 5.5, 6.5. Let's go for a couple of points. In fact, no, it's actually coming up quite nice. I'm just going to sit and hold. Get a nice little channel there. We've had one leg, two legs down there, high or low, failure. I think it's worth holding here because I think I could do well out of this trade. Strong liquidity, just be below the 210 mark, so I've got that up there, so I think we're okay. So we got one leg, two legs down, high or low, failure. Got one of those doges. Still strong at 2.9. That's about, where is that? Out there. I'm out a little bit before that. Don't like what it's doing there. There is some liquidity at 200 at the top of here. I might try and get out here. Something I don't like about it. Liquidities at 200. I'm going to get taken here. It's actually a nice place, that is. It's just not pushing up as nice as I'd like.
Order filled.
No, I don't like that. I'm concerned there. There's a lot of strong liquidity at 200 here. Hold on a second. I think I made the right decision there. I need to go up to 4231. You reckon? For some reason, I don't know why it's stalling there. I wish that liquidity at 200 would go. There's some liquidity there, and that's making me nervous that it's going to come down and get that. We've got one leg down. We may have another leg down. Now let me see if I made the decision to get out of that. Once it picks up that, then I think it'll push up. So we've pushed up in this. We've got one leg down. I'd like to see another leg down to pick up that liquidity. Bears want to fade the top. So what are you thinking? Long, are you? Just going a bit sideways there. The trouble is, there's a bit of liquidity I'm nervous about there that I think it may come down. Strong liquidity at 209 though. There is a second entry long there, but it's clearly congested. Just tough to trade, that is. I thought there, one leg down, two legs down, we're going up. I mean, it's working, so I think it'll work and push. My concern is that liquidity there. I haven't seen really a... see, that's the best looking bar there. That was a failure there. And it's the best looking bar there, like where it's sitting, but it triggered and it didn't stop you out. So it looks like it might be holding. You know, if it's a strong enough bar, if there's enough people, you know, also 1, 2, 3, because so that's a triple test. Who knows? I think if it pushes up below here, I think it'll be okay. So
order submitted.
No, there's a liquidity appearing down here, so I'm concerned.
Order cancelled.
I'm staying out of there at the moment. Could be a possible failed breakout. That's the trouble. I have to stay out of this now. So now see if that stop holds. Okay, so it didn't. Fair enough. So liquidity at 298 down here, so it may. I don't know whether we're going to sort of range a bit, maybe. It's possible. But that to me area needs picking up first. Yeah, the trouble is, I can see how it's moving. It's getting very dicey, and when markets like this, it'll move quickly. And my concern is, I have a 2.5 point stop, and it whacks through that stop and actually stops me out for more. This might be an area where it pushes up, but I think once it gets above this area here, I think we'll be home free then. But Yeah, I don't like what it's doing here. Trap City, that is. Okay. Yeah, I've gone down from 2 contracts to 1 contract, bud. So I'm just playing it half the size. So I'm just taking it nice and easy. I'm trying to do the same, but with 2 points a day. It's a slow slog. Not wrong. Yeah, there's liquidity here and at 97. So my concern is it comes down. Now it could just be a failed breakout. So we have had that channel. We've had 2 legs down. So you'd expect it to push up. There is some strong liquidity at 2.9. So, but I have to be aware that 1, 2, 3. It's a range as well. So it's been in a range. So I have to just be aware that. So I have to be aware that it may come down. Get trigger. Happy Lance. You're up good for the day. I'm assuming you do for a while. Take it and go chill for the day. Yeah, I am a little bit because I know I'm trading a little bit less. I think it'll work. And we got 1 leg, 2 leg, but it's just getting a bit what's it, isn't it? What time is it anyway? How long have we been going for? 4 o'clock, an hour and a half. Let's just sit and watch. In fact, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll just be 2 minutes. Okay. Devil on your shoulder. Yeah, you're not wrong. Trouble is, when you're up a bit and you've come from 2 contracts to 1 contract, it's clearly starting to work higher, that. The strong liquidity at 2.9, so I'd say it's lightly. We've had 2 legs down. For me, it's going up 100%, but I just don't like the fact that liquidity is here. Now, whether it'll come down and pick that up, someone's got to say. There is some liquidity there. Yeah, it is possible. It just could be a breakout, fell breakout, and it could come back. It is possible. It's very strong up here. So it may be a case of when we break these highs, it'll pick up these short orders or profit stops or whatever they are, and that'll start to bring it back in. So I'd say it's likely going to come back in. If it doesn't come in now, I'd say it's going to pop above and then come back down. But Yeah, I did wash my hands, mate. Bathroom's only next door. Yeah, I did. Just a quick rinse. Mmm. Not liquidity. Is there 209.75? So it's about there, which is breaking these highs. Then see, so I'd say, from what I'm seeing, I think it's more likely it's going to break these highs. I just am aware that there is some liquidity there and just under it, so it generally moves towards the strongest area of liquidity, but you obviously have to pay attention to the aggressive buyers and sellers. Now, you're going to have obviously some sellers thinking this is a channel, a range, and we're coming back in. Obviously, you've got the traders thinking, well, we're going to break a new high. So there's a little bit of conflicting opinions, which is why obviously we're going sideways. So there is some down here, but the stronger is up here. There's a lot more orders up here, so I'd say it's likely it's going to push up rather than come down. The old chamber pot. You're older than me there, mate. We had proper loos when I was a lad. Chances of high, that will first complete 45.25. Does anyone have max ancient geometry indicator? Let's use it right about now. Do you know what? I don't know why he doesn't just live stream and we'll just all bloody copy him. Life would be so much easier, wouldn't it? We could all pay him $200 a month. He'd have hundreds and hundreds of people watching him. We could watch him on Zoom. He takes the trade and we just copy him. Get 2 trades a day, all go home and have a better life. Life would be so much easier. I think he's a bit selfish myself for not doing it. I might message him and say, come on, snap out of that selfishness, Mr. Mac. Just live Zoom, let us all copy it and be done with it. Life would be easier. Okay, so there is a second entry long there. And I would say, from what I can see, it's likely going to break out here. It'll usually go sideways till we get a nice setup. So there is a failure there. It's closed above the EMA. It's also a second, so it's a failed second entry short. It's a second entry long. So I would say this is probably the nicest bar I've seen next to this one. Now, obviously, it'll go sideways until it finds something that's going to interest enough buyers. And I would say that's probably the most interesting one that I've seen from here. I'm going to message him later. I'll say we got a proposition for you. We've been getting together, just a few of us, and we're going to pay you $200 a month. You're going to do a live Zoom and we're just going to copy you. We'd really appreciate it. I can't see I'll go for it. Yeah, this is going to push up now. Okay, so 2.9 is my target around about here. I knew once we get a decent a bar, it would work. So we're certainly going to break the new highs. I'm confident of that. So 42.09. So around about there, I'd say. So quick push and be done with it. Do you know what? I'd either rather lose all my money or win rather than sit here for 3 hours of misery. It's my level. I've already gave breakouts and given levels earlier, have you? I don't know. I've gone from there, gone from here. For me, it's just working in this tier, then in this tier. Then we've had clear 2 legs down. It's pushed up a bit, gone sideways. Same type of bull flag. We've got to push up and sideways with a slight upward, and I expected something the same. So I'm pretty confident we're going to smack that area there. And then we're played out there. But I can't see anywhere. This to me looks like a channel to me, 100%. Let's have a look. Touch there, touch there, touch there. Yeah, I don't think it's anything less than that. Looks like a channel to me. And we've had, it was actually a second entry long there. I did look at that, but yes, I don't like it. And we clearly had a couple of legs down, then we pushed up a little bit, gone a bit sideways, found a decent, I don't think that was terrible, found a decent setup. But if you'd have taken that one, or you'd have taken that one, you'd have still been in that. And for me, it's all day going to hit that and possibly a tiny tad higher, maybe a quarter of a point, half, 3/4 of a point higher. There we go, bang, job done. So it's still going to push a touch more, 75, a little bit more, another couple of ticks, another 3 ticks, 4 ticks, and that'll pick up that liquidity. And then I would say then we may then move down. Okay, that liquidity is still there. I mean, I'd have come out before there anyway, but it would have worked in the end. But sometimes I need to learn to just put me trade and just forget it, let it work. I would say more times when I come out of a trade it would have worked. 3/4 of a point. There is something just above 10 there, so one more tick and that liquidity is going to get hit. There we go. Beautiful. It's sucking that up now. Excellent. That liquidity has been taken up. There's a little bit, tiny touch higher. 11.25 maybe. Go on. There we go. Beautiful. That's just sucked up that liquidity. So, excellent. There we go. Beautiful. It's taken all that liquidity there. So, see you, Lance and all. Your offer. Yeah, take it easy. Take it easy, Chris. Have a good one, mate. Okay, so it did what I thought it was going to do. We had 2 clear legs down. We had a push up. We went sideways because there's obviously that conflicting. Are we going? There's some liquidity down here. There's some liquidity here, which is causing it to go sideways. But then, given the right setups, it's encouraged by a second entry long there. You may have took that. There was also a second entry long there. Both bars look quite nice, but we needed something half decent then to encourage some buyers, and as soon as we hit that one, I did say it was going to push up, and it did, so I got lucky. So SPY, as I told you, touch 42, we'll touch 42.04. So yeah, so it does work. Now I'd have never guessed that, really. I wouldn't have guessed where it would have gone to, or so it definitely plays it definitely has a role in my trading day, no argument there. So let's think now. Maybe it's not ranging anymore, or maybe what's that? That's yesterday's open. We don't want that. We've broken yesterday's highs, or have we not quite? Oh, bollocks, that's moved. Sorry. Okay, yesterday's highs are there. So that may... so same again, up at 215. It's pulling up. There's a lot more liquidity at 215, so we may get a pullback. But I expect some higher. And I think we've come out there, and we've gone a little bit sideways, and we've broken higher. So I think we're out of that range now. If you can call it a range. I don't know whether there's anything bigger cooking. It's possible. Very strong at 21.15, which is Thur. That's my target, and that's getting us close to yesterday's highs. So as I said, a little pullback, and I think there is some at 2.8, so I'm guessing if it's at 2.8 here, that might be a case of, okay, if we get a pullback to here, then maybe I'm interested in going long, because there are buy orders at 2.8. There are a few buy orders here. I'm assuming if we get a pullback, there'll be some more buyers, but from what I can see, we are slowly drifting higher. SPY make a high at 40, okay. 420, does it also? 05, so yeah, we may get a bit more. I'd certainly expect, from what I can see, to see this area hit here. If we can get a bit of a pullback, it's got to be close to that EMA though. $208 is strong as well, so we may get a pullback to here. If we do, and I can get a decent setup, and we can take this liquidity at 420.0825, which is here. If we can get down to here, then, and we can get a decent setup to go long, I don't mind. Okay, so far, first entry, come down. Come on. Come down to this area. $2.825. Excellent. Suck up this. They're buy orders. Hopefully then we should get up a bit. So I'm going to get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
I've got that thing back as well. The one-click trader, the license went for it. He by mistakenly only put me on a temporary license. So I've got that coming back tomorrow. I'll sort that out tonight. For a one-click trader, we might see a slight sudden down move in the market. You're not bloody wrong. Okay, let's just be careful. Yeah, there is some liquidity again around about 200, so maybe.
Order cancelled.
Maybe. This is the new tops of the range, and this is the failed breakout. But the liquidity is a lot stronger here, so if we can get a decent setup, that might encourage some longs. So let me just check. We haven't got any type of a bigger channel working here. Not sure. So that channel has played out. So I have to be aware that 210, some liquidity there, some shorts there. So maybe we may come down a bit lower. Put that like that for now. So we've had a break. We haven't made a new high. Whether we will, because we've had a break out of this channel. I've got a feeling we're going to have a little bit of a pullback here and then come lower. So that's a break. We haven't made a new high. I don't necessarily think we necessarily have to because this is played out. So this is our bit of a pullback to 9. There's some liquidity there, some shorts there. So we may have a leg in a leg. There's 200 there, some strong liquidity down there. So this is possible. Strong at 210. So that'll suck up. That's sucking up them orders now. They're disappearing as we speak. Okay, so 210.50. So a tiny bit higher. And that'll disappear. So we may 210.50. There we go. It's taken that liquidity there. See, so now they're still strong here. So I'm a bit drawn here whether we're having one leg and another leg and maybe some higher, or whether we're just going to push up from here. There is double the amount of buyers at the moment, so I would say it's probably more likely going to go up. But the trouble is we haven't really got a setup there. It's just pushed down and wham. RTY is very smooth to the upside. Yeah, I'm starting to get that feeling. Could do with a bit of a pullback really though. I can't just jump in there. But I'd say this is definitely the target. Liquidity is a lot stronger here. Give us a pullback, you get. Pull back, come on. One leg. Come on. It's frustrating when you pretty much know where it's going. Trouble is, if I do nothing, it'll fly to there. If I do something, I get in there, it'll trigger me and stop me out. 21.15. Well, I made my bonus for the day. Good for you, mate. So I'm off to sit in the sun. Excellent. Good for you, mate. Good luck. See you folks tomorrow. Excellent. Thanks, Indy. Enjoy the sun. I'm going to sit in the sun later and drink a nice single malt Lafroig. I might have a few of them. Okay, so there's still that liquidity there. So maybe now, see this here? I reckon there's some people going to short that. Interesting. There's some shorts there, I'm sure of it. $42.31. Sorry, mate. I do apologise. $42.31. That's where you reckon it's going to get to. So if I go long here now and hold it to there, you reckon? I'll leave that there for you. Okay. On leg, pull back. I kind of like this.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Let's just go for a couple of points. Hmm. 2 points. Come on, baby. Push up. You know you want to. Very strong at 215. I'm out just before there. Come on. Second entry short triggered. Come on, push up. Smash that stop. Low, drive low once, drive as high as possible. Failure. Strong resistance area. I can see very strong liquidity on that red line. Very strong. Oh, I did. It's just disappeared. Oh, no, it's come back. And I'd say there's going to be some second entry shorts trap there. And there's a possible failure. Very strong, that is. So I'm only trading one contract. I've reduced it, so I'm just going for 2 points just below that strong liquidity area. And I'd say there's probably going to be some stops there, so we'll see. Hmm. Come on, baby. Up you get. There we go. Another couple of ticks. I think you're going to do okay. You're going to be just fine. Go on, push up. Strong liquidity there. Right on that red line there. Come on. Once we get above there, where there's going to be some shorts, possibly there, I think we'll be okay then. Another tick. Come on. You know you want to. Now up you go. Come on. Come on. Up you go. One more tick. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Start us out with the panda guy. Very strong there. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. Screen's gone off again. Yeah. One more tick. Come on, you tosser, get up there. Should burst through there, hopefully. Come on. Quick shake, rattle. Come on.
Target filled.
Okay. Excellent. Cancel all orders. Okay, so that liquidity has been taken up there. Where are you seeing this liquidity thingy? I'm not telling you. It's a secret. No, I'll show you. I'm letting into your big secret, Coco. Yeah, no, it's not a big secret. There, mate. Bookmap. 215. There was a massive, big, thick red line there with 400 orders waiting. There's a compressed version of it, but this is Bookmap. It's just streams live on. But what it does, all these little balls, red cell, green, but these areas here, the liquidity, the deeper the red, you probably know anyway, but the deeper the red of the colour, the stronger the liquidity. Around 215, there was a big, thick red line there, and there was about 400 orders waiting to be filled. And obviously, as we know, or you may not know, what's he doing? Market moves towards liquidity. So whether they were stops or whether they were, but they were sell orders, but they could have just been where the profit was. But I saw a lot of strong liquidity up here. That's like a compressed version of it, but you can see how we're moving through this wave of liquidity. The deeper and darker the red, the stronger the liquidity. And there's some strong stuff up here, so I think with a bit of a pullback we're likely to, but it just helps guide you this, which is why I put that red line there. In fact, the liquidity was at 42.15, which was where that tick came to, but I put my stop just below it. And there is some more strongish ish stuff. Don't tell, I shouldn't say nothing, should I? I think I've opened my mouth now. Sorry, mate. Sorry, bud. But no, I've just started using it over the last week, and it's helping me make better decisions and working out where the market's likely to go. So it's like a guide, really, but it's just basically order flow, really. It just shows where the money is. So that was 2 points. It just shows you where the money is. Plus 2 points. Why has that gone like that? What is happening? I wouldn't have gone long there otherwise, but I could just see it was moving up towards that liquidity. So the pay version allows you to get rid of some of the... It does, Jamie, but I'll tell you something, mate. I downloaded the version, and for some reason, when I was scrolling backwards and forwards with the data, my fan on my computer was whirring away. And when I looked at my task manager, it wasn't using a massive amount. It was using... Bearing in mind, I got Ninja Trader. I've got YouTube on it with this stream. I've got OBS, which is the stream. I've got 3 other windows on here as well, and I had that, and it was showing using about 30% of my GPU as my CPU. So it's in the chat. Glad to see those green numbers today. Thank you, Stefan. That is much appreciated, mate. It's not been a bad day today. What happened there? Did I take that? I did, didn't I? 2, 3, 4. I've got 2 points there as well. Okay. I've probably taken too many trades today, but I think because I had a good start and I reduced to 2 contracts, I've probably been a little bit more, probably careless for want of a better word, but I see every time I see this pattern, I mention it. We push up, we have a slight bit of congestion, slightly upwards, and we have an almost identical move in the other side. It's like a mirror image. Bull flag, I know it's a bull flag anyway, but and it sort of goes sideways and up until you get a decent looking signal bar. I like that one, so I took it and it just rocketed up. So, but yeah, I saw this liquidity here and we had this channel, we had a break of it, high or low. I expected it to break that and hit this liquidity, and it worked. So I'm probably taking maybe a little more risky trades, but I am seeing it's helping me, this this Bookmap. It's helping guide me. So now that liquidity now is moved up to here. So if you go on Bookmap, just type in Bookmap Live on YouTube. There's an NQ version. Just click the ES version, and I believe it's around about the 4 to 5 seconds behind you, which is not a lot. So, but obviously it gives you the area's liquidity, and it shows you in the top right the actual buyers and sellers, aggressive buyers and sellers. So if you just decided to buy that, that would obviously have an impact on the market. But why has that gone black again? No. But yeah, a lot of these are limit orders or profit areas. So I'm just wondering, there must be some form of a possible, hard to say at the moment. Just gives you a bit of guidance, really. It's definitely helped me more. Now, I traded on Monday, the bank holiday, just for a while. I shouldn't have done. And I, instead of waiting for a setup, because I got that excited with it, instead of waiting for a setup, I just went with the direction it was telling me rather than waiting for a setup, and it went against me, and I ended up losing some trades. So you've still got to have a setup there, but if there's a setup, now the good thing is people like us will see maybe high or low and think, well, I'm going to go long there. So there's a big influx of buyers in the market there. Now, on the same note, if there's a lot of liquidity up here, the two going hand in hand, that tells me that it's a good setup. And obviously a lot of other traders are going to see something similar depending on what time frame. But with having the liquidity area up here where it's likely to go to, the combination of a good setup and that, I believe, just gives me that extra confidence in I'm making the right decision. Because if I'm going long, let's say, for instance, I'm picking this top here, yeah, this to me, say a failed breakout of this range. If I'm going short here and there's a massive liquidity up here, then there's a chance I might be making a mistake and getting trapped. So if I can see there's strong liquidity there and not much here, and I'm thinking about going short, it'll help me from making a bad decision. So it's win-win for me. And the trouble is, if we constantly see loads of liquidity up here, maybe we can get in on one of these trends earlier and make some decent points for once. Say there's liquidity again at 17, which is there. There's more liquidity at 20, which is here. For me, we're clearly working up at the moment. Now there is a bar there, but the trouble is there's no real setup. But I think market's strong enough that it, yeah, it clearly made you 2 points. And like Max says, sometimes the ATR is quite low at the moment. It's just over 1.75 points. And sometimes when you get lots of little bars moving up, Max says every time it comes back to the key entry point, sometimes he marks. So it came back to the key entry point there, pushed up nice. That one pushed up nice, that one worked, that one worked, that one worked, that one worked, that one, you know, sometimes in these pretty strong trends, every time it comes back to the key entry point, whether it be the EMA or the what's it, and you get a nice strong bar, you know, we've all heard Max say it before, sometimes you just buy what, you know, every time it comes back there. But I'm a little bit, I can definitely feel less stress in taking a trade when I'm trading one contract. Now, you may say, I've taken quite a few trades today, so you may say, oh, I'm being a bit risky. But if I look back on the points, that one I think was a good trade. Clearly worked. That one I think was a good trade. That clearly worked. That one, I was lucky. I was thinking it was going short and I'd put a buy order there for some reason. That one I think was okay. That one was stupid. I had a bigger trend drawn. That one I think it was okay. We had a drop back, we had a high low, and that worked okay. But 1, 2, 3, 4. I've taken 5 trades today. Now that's quite a lot of trades, to be honest with you. But the way I see it is I started off with a nice lump sum and I reduced down to 1 contract. Now that takes the pressure off a little bit and maybe I can trade a little bit more relaxed, and maybe that's why I've traded a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Now there is some liquidity at 25 again. That's hit that liquidity. Now there is some at 20, which is there. There's also some at 15, so we may get a pullback. Possible. There's yesterday's highs. Depends. It's battling between here and here. So it may push higher. It may get a pullback. We may do a little bit of sideways. Yeah, it does use up a lot of resources. Plus, with the stream too, I can imagine. Yeah. Now, are you a bit of a computer geek, Jamie? Because if you are, that's useful to know. Now, I've got a system which I believe is quite a strong system. I've got a Ryzen 7 3800X processor. I've got a good quality motherboard. I only buy good quality parts. A good quality gaming motherboard. I've got an NVIDIA, is it RX or GTX 2060 gaming graphics card. I've got a 32 gig of DDR RAM. Same again, a good quality brand. I got a, is it an ME2 or EM2 hard SSD? You know, the little sticks. That's 1 terabyte Samsung Evo. So I've got all good parts. 85 watt power supply, so it should be able to handle it. It's just when you're not used to hearing your fan a lot, it just whirs just on the odd occasion, and all of a sudden you open that thing and the thing goes off on overdrive, and I just got a bit concerned. SPY completed given target. Excellent. Nasdaq also completed given target. Okay, so there still is liquidity up here, and this looks to me like it's starting into maybe a nice uptrend. So I wonder whether I wonder whether I don't know. This is good enough for now, I think. Does look like we are slowly grinding up. So let's have a look. It may incorporate this, but it looks like that little sort of a spike. So I've gone for the spike and channel sort of look. In fact, may actually be there. Push up. It's not the best looking channel, but it touches here, touches here, touches here, touches here. It works all right. Sometimes they don't look that good. I'm guessing that might open up into something a bit wider. If we get a bit of a break here, it might open into something a bit wider. They're still strong there. So we're about to hit yesterday's high, but there's still very strong. There's literally 700 orders between 19 and 20. So I expect that to push up and hit these orders. There's not much in the way of buyers, see, but M2, yeah. Should run Ninja Trader fine. Yeah, it's mainly about the CPU. Well, it's a Ryzen 7 3800X. Now, incidentally, guys, this is interesting. Have you ever seen that program User Bench? It's from Apex, and what it does, you run the program and it runs through your whole system and it gives you a rating. And my rating is a nuclear sub. It's one off the top. It's running of all the systems that it's logged, mine's up about 97%. So it's quite a powerful machine. So it should run everything okay. How did you find this tool, Lance? What I just said, let me just see if I can't see it. It's on Apex. It's called User Bench, and you double click it, and what it does is it goes through, there's like pictures on the screen, and it does a few things, and what it does is it checks your whole system. It's based on traders' computers, and what it does, every time somebody uses it, it rates your computer, and that gives you an overall picture. And I think mine was along the lines of a nuclear sub, which you get nuclear sub, a battleship, something else, and they're just names, just to show how powerful things are. But it's on Apex somewhere. It's under, I think, if you go onto the Apex site and search something like trading computer, something like that. Shavy, that's a new name I haven't seen before. What platform am I using? Ninja Trader, buddy. Ryzen 7 is a nice, yeah. The 3800 rates really high, to be honest with you. Don't need to go on Apex. Yeah, there's probably lots of, but the thing about the Apex one is all the traders have gone there and it's checked their system, and then it makes a log of your system and it enters it into like a database of lots of traders' computers, and it obviously puts them in different levels from, I think the first one is a rowing boat for something that might be way out of date, up to a yacht, and then up to maybe a frigate, and then a battleship, and then something else, and then a power station, then a nuclear sub. And it just rates them in order of how weak they are and how powerful they are, based on lots of other traders' computers. Don't load too many days. Well, I tend to have, I think, about 7, I think. Something like that. 1, 2, that was a day. 3, 4, 5, 6 days I think I got on. Yeah, it's slowly grinding up. I wouldn't be shocked if we keep pushing higher. The strong liquidity ends around about here, though. So, but it does look like one of those, you know, ATR is quite low. It's slowly grinding. It does look like one of those trades that could just, one of those days that could keep going up. I almost consider a second computer dedicated to streaming and Bookmap. Yeah, see, when I run Taskmaster with everything, it's showing my CPU at only 30%, which is not a lot, is it? And bearing in mind, I got Bookmap running, Ninja Trader running, OBS running on with the stream, YouTube running with the comments and the stream. And I've got 3 other windows. I've got Replicanto running. I've also got Rhythmic running, which is showing me more my balances. So I've got a lot of stuff running, and if it's only showing at 30%, it's actually, you'd think it's quite low, wouldn't you? But you can see the jump in Bookmap. But the only downside I see to the YouTube version is it's about 5 seconds behind. Which is not a major issue, I don't think. You know, 5 seconds isn't 4 or 5 seconds isn't a huge amount of time. And bearing in mind, we're looking at liquidity levels. Okay, so that's about to suck that liquidity up there. There you go. It's picked all that liquidity out, I know. Most of it. Touch higher. Okay, that's picked up that liquidity there. There's a little bit left it missed. But just see how accurate this is. You know, I put that there and it worked up to it, and I put that there, and I can see where these levels are. These levels of taking profit and sells, well, they're all taking profit. But if lots of traders and big areas have got trades and sells up here, you would expect the market to go up to the big institutional guys, and obviously we want to try and follow them. Should be fine, and that CPU can handle a lot of multitasking. Yeah, I think, Bud, just because it was, I just heard my fan whirring a little bit more than normal, and that just, you know, because normally it just ticks over, it hardly makes a noise. I've got one fan in there, which is the computer fan. There's obviously a fan on the GPU. I did buy a few more about a year and a half ago when I built it. So perhaps I could stick a couple of more of those little, you know, the ones that just plug into the motherboard. I mean, the temperature in the UK is warming a little bit, so I suppose it, you know, may help. Took profit, did you? Yeah. See, I want to have the confidence to get into a trade here. See, trades like that and trades like that, that gorilla guy will get into, and all he'll do is wait for it to go up to here. He'll put his order here, put his stop here, put his stop here, and he'll just follow it up. And then when we get a decent day, he'll make a lot of points out of that, because CPU is getting hot, having too many loads. But if it's only running at 30%, perhaps I could do with getting another fan in there, really. I've got one fan which came with a computer case, and there's the fan on the actual chip itself, the one that comes with the rising one that just clips over it, its own fan. And I've got a fan on the GPU, so perhaps I need a couple of more. I have got a pack of 3, they're only cheap. And the little ones that just plug into the motherboard, it might be an idea just to put another couple in. They're only cheap fans, £10 for 3 or something. 21, 22. Liquidity is starting to appear up here at 25, so that worked beautifully, yeah. So there's more liquidity up here, so it's starting to look to me like a nice day to make some money. So where was the low? So we've gone up, what, 42 points. So it may keep pushing up to here. It's liquidity at 21, 22, and it's starting to build at 25. So as people are getting in trades, they're dragging their profits up there. So that's what's showing as liquidity. And as it hits, obviously they're sell orders. If you're buying, that's a sell order, isn't it? To sell your, your trade. So as it hits these, they get absorbed then into the market. And literally, if you look at every green bar that's hit that one pushed up lovely. That one, even that one did. That one pushed up. That one pushed up. That one pushed up. And we've all heard Max say, more or less, every time it comes back to the EMA and you get a decent signal bar, you can more or less take. Just wish it would come back to the EMA and get, yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. Strong move. But every time it does come back so far, here, and here, it's given us a good opportunity. Now, I like to still try and get a setup, but we've all heard Max say, sometimes in these, these days where the market just slowly keeps on grinding up, every time it comes back and gives us a decent signal bar, maybe you can carry on. But Lance, we are the red lines there for. What are the red lines for? Okay, Ryan, if you look on, I've got something running on YouTube called Bookmap. And if you click Bookmap Live, if you've got a spare screen, and click the ES version in YouTube, what I can see, I'll drag it into the shop for you. What I can see is this. And this is called Bookmap. This is, someone's just streaming this live. And all these areas, these lines are areas of liquidity. So if somebody bought here, their take profit might be up here. And it shows as a sell order. So you can clearly see there was some there, there was some there, there was some there. The stronger the red, the more liquidity. The blacker, the less liquidity. So obviously we got black and then slightly light blue and then white and then yellow and then orange and then the stronger red. So you can clearly see it's working up to these areas. 21's the next, there's some there, there's some there. But if you look in a compressed version, let me move that out of the way, you can clearly see how there's more appearing there, and it's slowly pulling the market up. Because obviously the market goes towards where the money is. So it just helps guide you in the right direction. Now there is also some liquidity at 215. So there's a possibility we could get a pullback to pick up that before we go higher. But I've only started using this last week, but it's almost... why can I not see that? Oh, okay. It almost just gives you a little bit of guidance. But I think they just call this level 2 data. Just gives you a little bit more information of what's happening. But obviously based on what I've just shown you there and what the market's doing, they're clearly running in tandem. So there is a nice bar there. The trouble is it's just a bit too far from the EMA, and yeah, you're still really, I mean, even if you're not waiting for a proper setup on a day like this, I think it's still important to at least get a decent signal bar. But if you look at that signal bar, it's quite nice, touching there. Well, it's above the EMA and touching the trend channel. That one, same again, closed above the EMA, touching the trend channel. That one again, even better, sat on top of the trend channel. The EMA on the trend channel. So all these areas would have clearly pushed higher. So that one. That's what I took. We had the push up little bull flag. But if I'd have kept hold of that, say, look at that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. I'd have been on 32 points. It just goes to show sometimes that if you've got the nuts to sit and wait and just follow these swings, every time we get a swing, look at that. If your stop goes on every swing, you'd be sat here at the moment on looking at 30 points. Okay, bye for now. Take care. Yeah, you too, bud. You too. Yeah. What time is it? Okay, we're getting close. Yeah, it's still grinding. Look. I did look at that one, but the trouble is, it's in quite a tight. What's it there? But I know some people take trades away from there. I'm not a fan of taking them. Now, you might have got 2 points off that. You probably will, but red areas are likely where the market is heading to. Yeah, they're just strong areas of liquidity where money's sat. Now, if you buy a trade here, you sell it up here, and it shows as a sell order. So the red, though that red area where all those numbers were. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's selling, a shorting as such, but you could be shorting there, or you're getting out of a trade, but you still have to have a setup and you still got to use your eyes. So I think the two work hand in hand. Now, I know a lot of people that use Bookmap obviously have a standard bar chart as well. Now, you can, if you buy the top global package, you can actually trade actually on Bookmap itself. But from what I've learned over the last week, it's good to have both. So you've got to look for a setup, because at the end of the day, those pending orders that they are areas of liquidity, that's exactly what they are. But what you've got to take into consideration as well is aggressive buyers. Now, a lot of aggressive buyers will come in like us, where you see an order there and you know, we'll literally wait for that to appear and then buy it. So you can't randomly, just because it looks like there's liquidity up here, you've got to make sure you're aiming in the right direction and the setups are good as well. Hard to hold. I jumped out too early. Yeah, I used to watch that gorilla guy a bit, and that's exactly, he holds everything. He doesn't go for less than 6 points, I think. And a few times I've seen him take big moves. He did a 35-point move a few months back, but you let it push up so far, maybe come back to here. Once it starts going sideways, he'll drop his stop there. Then as it pushes up, he'll drop his stop there and maybe there, and he'll just follow it up and just squeeze as much as he can. But that liquidity is there. Actually, it's more like there. Some of the liquidities, there's some 25 to 24, but the bit I can see strongest at the moment is there, 24. And if you look on the compressed version on the right, it's showing at 25, which is just hit. So that's just absorbed all that liquidity now. So, you know, if you use Bookmap, it can be really useful. You know, there'll be a lot of people thinking, oh, we're in a range there, this is a failed breakout, let me go short here. But because I can see there's that much liquidity up here, it's almost pulling the market, which is why I've been thinking about going long and not thinking about shorting back into the, into the range. Mistake of trusting it too much. Yeah, I think you've got to use them hand in hand. I think it's important to have a good setup. But it is turning into one of these days. Now, there's more liquidity appearing at 2030. And there is a little bit at 20. So I'm guessing that might mean we maybe have a bit of a pullback now and then push higher. But there's all of a sudden another 383 orders appeared here. So for me, it's definitely looking like we're moving up. So hopefully if we can get a pullback to here, we may get another opportunity to get in. The trouble is, the frustrating thing is, like on so many trade trending days, it spends such a lot of time away from the EMA. And that just makes any trades so much riskier. Yeah. The 25 has picked up, so that's faded. There's a little bit at 27, and then there's a ton more. Obviously, people, as this liquidity pulls up, people are obviously moving their take profits up, and their stops. So as they move their take profits up, that area of liquidity moves a bit higher and a bit higher. And some might take out. It might hit their liquidity and they'll come out of a trade. And then if we get a pullback, they'll buy again, and then their liquidity will move more and more. So it's when you read into it a bit, it's pretty common sense. But when you're looking at this and you're looking at that, the two almost sort of go in sync. And the more you look at it, the more you sort of begin to trust it. And then it's starting to fit quite nicely into my trading. So for me, it's definitely made me money, and it's saved me a bit of money as well. But they have to go hand in hand. You can't just trust Bookmap by itself. You need a chart as well, in my opinion. And some of the videos I've seen, people like Patrick Welland and others, they use both. They have a standard bar chart like us, and then they use Bookmap as well. But some people use, I think, order flow. I think is the same. It's the same. I believe it's the same sort of system. I believe so. Yeah, strong liquidity starting to build at that 2030. And obviously, another thing about trades, they tend to go for round numbers as well. It's just a psychological thing. Where do you put your let's put it 2030, let's put it a nice round number. Not 28.25. Let's put it a round number. So round numbers make a difference as well. What's your settings on the EMA? The EMA is a 21-day exponential moving average, and we use it basically as to take trades off every time it comes back to the EMA like this. Perfect place. We're in this channel here. It doesn't look any better than that. It might not be a perfect setup for us, but it's sat right on that EMA, and it's sat right on that trend channel, and obviously you can see how it reacts. Same there again, in a nice place, and that pushed up nicely. That one not too bad either. So we may get a couple of legs down here. There is some liquidity there, 42.20. So if we can make two legs down and pick that up, and there's buy orders down there, that liquidity is, then I expect then the next push up. So anytime, Tim, no problem, mate. Now, just understand though, I've been trading 2.5 years, so I'm by far an expert. This is just me and my journey. I have some good days and I have some bad days as well. So just because you can see a decent amount on there doesn't mean I know I've got all the answers. I haven't. I make my fair share of cock-ups. Monumental ones. Don't think I don't. Is the sell orders. Well, they are sell orders, but they're also take profit as well. Because if obviously, as you know, if you buy here, you sell it up here, don't you? So it shows as a sell order. So it doesn't necessarily mean people want to sell there because they think it's coming down. It just means they want to get out of their trades there. Now, granted, if we have one leg up, two legs up, and we're in a range and we're coming down, then yeah, you may sell that actually as a, I want to sell it and go lower. But on days like this, they're more likely, well, common sense would tell me that it's where profit marks are, profit targets are, which obviously is a sell order. We need to come down here a bit more. Maybe they are taking profits. Oh, absolutely, that's what it'll be, mate. Yeah, we're clearly trending up, aren't we? Your profit's going to appear, but you know this anyway. But you know, round numbers are a big thing as well with traders, aren't they? Just for some reason, we like round numbers or even numbers. So there's a lot at 2030, not necessarily 28.2 or you know what I mean? It's rounded off. So that's where I expect the market to go to now. We've had a bit of a pullback there. Now, the reason I couldn't get involved in something like that is there is also some relatively strong buy orders here. And the reason behind that, I'm thinking, is one leg down, break, another leg down, let's buy, move higher. So it will stop you getting into a stupid trade, because if you're going long here and a point below you there's a massive buy orders, chances are you might be taking a bad trade. Because how often do we take a long here, it triggers above, stops us out, and then goes in the same bloody direction? So that it helps you to not get into bad trades. You know, we've all gone two legs down, but it's a bit too far away from the EMA, and we'll go long here, and what happens? It triggers you, stops you out, and then it comes down, picks up the liquidity that you can see on Bookmap, and then ends up going up. So I just like to be aware of the area where it may pull back to. I mean, there's nothing stopping it keeping going up, but I don't want to get into a trade here until I've given it a chance to pick up that, because if I take some in here and it comes down, it's taking me out. Come down, two legs down here, two here would be beautiful. Sorry, Tech, I've just missed that. Yeah, it's hard to hold. Oh, I did read that bit. I didn't read the rest, though. Got an early, still managed to get 3 grand for the day. Good for you, mate. Good for you. I love hearing success stories. I love hearing about people earning money, because it gives me hope. You know, I love reading about the who was the Ghanaian earlier. It was a Ghanaian earlier. He made a video that's worth a watch, that shows you, he makes it now and again, that shows you the biggest earners this month at Apex. I love reading them, I do. It just gives you a bit of hope. Forget where it was. What's he called himself? Something nut trading, isn't it? Let's have a look. Where are you? Oh yeah, Nutty Bar Trading. I watched one of his videos of the day. Check him out, Nutty Bar Trading. He had a video showing all the biggest payouts of the month from Apex, and there is big chunks of cash being paid out. Okay, so strong at 25, strong at 30, which is telling me it's dragging the market up. Trouble is, we need a bit of a setup here, don't we? So one leg, two leg. If we can get down to here somewhere, pick up these orders, then I think we're good to go higher. Nutty Bar makes a video every month covering it. Yeah, it's interesting to watch, actually. I love reading about people making good money, because I find it just lifts me. I love hearing about people doing well. Some people don't. Some people don't like people talking about money. I like it. You know, if you've had a fantastic week, I love hearing about it, because it just gives me hope. Come on down. Come on. Come down to 42.20. Come on. I still watch that video of Vince, I do. The one on Apex that we drew $800,000. Man, what I wouldn't do with a paycheck of that. 800 grand. I mean, I tell you what, I bet there's not many institutional traders earning that sort of money that work for firms. They don't pay them huge amounts of money. I follow that. Who's the British trader? What's his name? Anton Creel. He made a video about they take on a lot of these finance wizards fresh out of university and pay them a crap wage to learn to trade and invest from. Okay, so this is starting to set up quite nice. There's a big buy order in at 42.14. So big buy order in here. Makes me a bit nervous, that. Let's check it's in the right place. There. Okay. Just clearly going sideways, this. Just too risky. And it's floating a bit nowhere in the middle. It could keep going a bit sideways until it gets to here. And so there's some orders there. And there's some down there. So now they could be just buy orders if we have a break. Or if anybody's shorted here. I don't know why you would. It's a profit area, so they're either or. Liquidity printed at 25. Let's have a look. Yeah, look to the right as well. You should have that on there. Look to the right. You've got that compressed version. We're in the middle, aren't we, of that big red area above and below. There's quite a lot at 42.20, which is here. And there's a lot at about just before 42.26, which is here, which of that break this high. And if you look up again, there's a big thick bar at there as well. So from what I can see, it's clearly looking like it's continuing up. Now the trouble is, it's dangerous taking trades like that. Now it might work. Sometimes when the trade's just strong, it just keeps on going. But a lot of the times you'll see it go sideways, sideways, sideways. As soon as it touches here and the EMA matches, we get a nice big bullish signal bar and wham, off it goes again. So I think, and if you look on Bookmap, there's a big area of black here where there's not a lot of liquidity. So it's probably going to go sideways until we come back. See there as well, see? Sideways, sideways, sideways. Touch of this, half decent signal bar, off it went. And same again, yeah, we see it all the time, don't we? It pushes up, sideways, 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 decent signal bar, EMA, key entry point, ram. It goes again, it's so strong it has to go sideways to hit the EMA, yeah. So, but I think the comforting thing is, you know, when we sat here, you know, day after day, and we see these patterns all the time, you start to get a feel for it after a while, I think, don't you? And some days you just get in tune with the market and you can't seem to put a foot wrong. And then other days, I think what you need to do is take full advantage of the good days, and on the bad choppy days is just really muster that patience and discipline up. The trouble is we get a good day like this and we think we're going to get the same tomorrow, but tomorrow might be bloody awful. And the trouble is, if we're used to, you know, we get a bit of that euphoria feeling when we're taking winning trades. You want to get some more. It's like a drug, really. You want to get some more back again tomorrow. But if the market ends up choppy, so I think it's just working on that really strong discipline and patience. Just because you've had a good day doesn't mean we've got all the answers. I suffer with myself. Okay. what I'm going to do is just see this area out, and then I'm going to knock it on the head for the day. It's been a good day today, actually, for me. I don't really count this as a good day. LOL, movement, very few setups. Well, you probably and Max say this later a lot. That you've heard it many times. That every time it comes back to the key entry point and we get a decent signal bar, just buy it and off it goes. But I know what you're saying. We see this pattern all the time: push up, sideways at an angle, bull flag, and almost like a mirror image. And I took that one; it worked beautifully. Back to the key entry point, higher low, took that one; it worked nice. Clearly, slowly grinding up. But yeah, the thing is, if you get in there and you do one trade and you do nothing else, you feel like you've had a successful day. But if you've not had nothing, you know, a choppy day can be okay to one trader. Now, if I get in a nice trade and make $400 nice and early, and we have a shitty, choppy day, for me, it's still been a good day because I managed to get a trade. But if you have a shitty, choppy day and you get no setups, it's a shitty, choppy, horrible day. So, you know, it depends. Okay, so you've had that nice big bullish bar now, right at the EMA. Trouble is, I would prefer to come back to this channel a bit more, at least to drop out the bottom. It might not need it if it's a strong day, because there is still that liquidity there. If it's a strong market, that might be good enough to just continue it higher. Some big orders here, so I would prefer it to go sideways a bit more. I think just assuming that's the one is a bit risky. Two good entries at 41.90. Okay. Oh, another at 42.05. 205. Shitty day, yeah. It's certainly much nicer, I think, to trade a trending day, because it's pretty straightforward. If it comes back to the with a decent setup, you go long. Half the time it's battling with, are we going up or are we going down? You know, so much. So that obviously has worked. So I would have suggested that we'll just continue up now to this another few points. So if you took that one, trouble is, it's I don't know, some people might not find it's bad bar. I think it's a little bit risky, but on good days like this, maybe it'll just go a bit sideways till we get a decent bar. If enough people think it's good and the buyers jump in, up we go. Took profit again here. Good on you, mate. That is the target. There is some at 27. Some more buy orders at 27. So we may get a little pullback. And then I think we'll push up here. 27 I want to see. To suck up those buy orders, that might give it a little bit more of a push. They're still there at 27. Come down a little bit more. Definitely a risky bar. That one, yeah, it is. Trouble is, on these trend days, you remember a few weeks ago, Mac marked one doji, two dojis. We had a little bit of a laugh about it in the Facebook group. I've never seen him mark two dojis. There was a perfect, and when I say a doji, I mean a perfect cross. Not, you know, some people call, I mean, that's what I call where a doji, right where there's a perfect cross, not one tick off there, not one tick off the highs, but a cross. Okay, so that's picked up there. Those buy orders. Let's have a look. There's still some around the 2020, but I would have said that will be enough of a pullback to push higher based on what I can see. But the buyers are increasing. Yeah, it was a proper bear bar. Yeah. Yes, I can't remember what day it was. It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He marked two dojis. But like Max says, you know, on these good, strong trending days, every time it comes back to the EMA and you get a decent signal bar, just go long. We've all heard him say that, haven't we? So maybe that was okay. We'll see if it marks that later. But I would prefer to come a little bit closer. I tend to like to push through and then push up, because if you push through, you may pick up some more orders to push it higher. What time is it? Nearly hour past, isn't it? Okay, guys, I think I'm going to knock it on the head today. It's been a blinding day for me, a really good day. I think that's the target. I've got no doubt about it. It's clearly working up nice there. So we got, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, about 43 points there, just from here. Yeah, it's nice when you get on a half decent day. Yeah, some people... Excuse me a second. Sorry. Congrats, lads. Thanks, Coco. I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate it. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's some strong liquidity on there, but I'm out now. It's too far away anyway. It's not going to come back enough for me. So yeah, I appreciate all your comments, guys. You're the man. I am the man when I'm making some money, but it ain't always the case. I've had a good day today, but I do struggle. I struggle from time to time, like we all do, you know. And when you have a good day, you know, everything seems fantastic, doesn't it? Everything's wonderful, and then the following day you lose a couple of trades, and it's like the world's coming to an end. So trading is so full of ups and downs, and it's trying to manage them, I think. Now, my problem is, sometimes when I have a good day, I get this burning desire to come and trade again later in the evening. And whenever I do, it doesn't usually end well. So what I've got to really try and do is just focus on that 3-hour window where I trade from 2:30 to 5:30 and then forget about it. You know, if you had a normal sort of everyday job, you wouldn't decide to go back and do some more work an hour after you finish, would you? So I'm going to get myself a hobby or something. I might learn belly dancing or something like that. I need to get myself a hobby, something to spur my interest outside of trading, because my whole life's trading, and it's I don't think it's healthy. Thanks for showing the Bookmap channel. Anytime, mate. It's just something I started using a week ago. Somebody mentioned it, and I looked at it and thought, sod that, it's completely confusing, and I put it to bed. But then I had another look, and a guy said, it looks confusing, but it's actually pretty simple. And when it's explained to you, it is pretty simple. It takes you an hour to pick it up. See, that's really strong up here. It doesn't take you long to pick it up, but it's a guidance. It's like having someone there saying, oh, it's more likely going to come up here. You know, there's a lot of traders taking profits up here. 230 is looking crazy. Yeah, it is. There's some really strong 645 orders there. If you can get a decent setup somewhere, unfortunately, that's just a bit too floating in the area. And the frustrating thing is, so many times they'll trigger and then come back down. But if you can get another... So that turned out okay in the end. If you can get something around about here, even the EMA, then I don't think it's a bad shout to go higher. It's clearly an uptrending afternoon. It's clearly... I mean, that is a classic slow grinding uptrend day, isn't it? Every time we get a new swing, it never breaks that one. Every one of these swings right the way from here has been higher, 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 higher. Every single one of them. Which tells me that's a really strong day. Now that might push above there and just rock it up, but the trouble is it's right floating in the middle there. Sod's law, if you do nothing, it'll rock it up. The second you put a trade there, it'll trigger you and stop you out. So I'm done for the day anyway. I've had a good day, and I'm going to go and sit in the garden and drink myself a nice single malt. I'm cooking tonight, and I've just had my daughter coming in saying, I'm hungry. So yeah, it does look like it's slowly pushing up, but that's it for me today, guys. I appreciate all your comments, all your feedback, all your support. It's a really nice little family we've got going here. We all help each other out. And you guys help me using my code, and I do appreciate that. It does enable me to trade full time. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to go back to work weekends because I'm just under a little bit of extra pressure. I've given up work a little bit too early, the part-time work, so that's down to me. So not a bad day for me. I don't know how it went for you. You know, sometimes we get good days. Other people, you know, I've had shit rotten days, and other people have said it's been a good day for me. So, what day is it? It's the first of the 6th, 23. Save. So there we go. That's it for today. So yeah, don't forget they extended the 80% off. I thought they might. I won't be surprised if they extend it indefinitely, but I believe it's for another week. I don't know. So you know my code. There it is. As always, if you use it or you have used it, it's appreciated. Thank you very much. You may get a second entry here. But I'm done. Good day, and I'm going to walk away with a good day. So have a great evening, guys. Stay safe. If you're carrying on trading, good luck. And I will catch up with you again tomorrow. Is it Friday again? Wow. Weeks are flying, aren't they? So yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll talk tomorrow.